رمضان يا رمضان رمضان يا رمضان رمضان يا رمضان رمضان يا رمضان.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Welcome to In the Light of the Quran. We do an overview of the recitation for the 16th night of Ramadan. In this segment, we conclude Surah An-Naml, the 27th chapter in the chronological order of the Quran. An-Naml, the ant. This Meccan surah focuses on the spiritual truths that underlie the mission of prophets. Prophet Sulaiman's unique ability to understand various levels of communication, including non-human communication, is highlighted, as well as a particular incident when his army came in the vicinity of the colony of ants, and the humility displayed by Prophet Sulaiman despite his tremendous power and authority. The question is asked, how do people ascribe partners to Allah? Do they not reflect on His majesty? His creation itself is awe-inspiring. How awesome is the Creator? Surah An-Naml concludes with the calling to attention of the following. 1. The inevitability of the Day of Judgment, when each person will be held individually accountable for the test of life, for they have done during the sojourn on this earth. 2. Reflection on the wonders of creation. They are available to each and every one all over the world. Signs of Allah, ayat of Allah, that are undeniable. 3. Reminder of the human accountability for actions, that each individual is responsible for his or her own deeds. And actions, of course, are determined by the intention that precedes them. So the intentions will be good, as well as the actions, for those actions to be considered a'malu salihat, or righteous deeds. There is an injunction and a reminder to follow the divine commandments. And divine commandments have been conveyed to us as guidance by the prophets who received revelation. And acknowledgement for those who reflect on reality. Praise to Allah, provider of all of the signs and know of everything, and to whom we are eventually accountable, the one who has granted us the gift of life in the first place. Next we have Al-Qasas, the stories, the 28th chapter in the chronological order of the Holy Quran. This is a Meccan surah, revealed while Prophet was on migration, and deals primarily with the mission, struggle, and ultimate success of Prophet Moses, peace be upon him. This is his motivation as the Prophet is about to go and establish Islam in Medina and fleeing from Mecca. The story of Moses, which is so often repeated in the Quran, is a mode of encouragement, but also for us to heed the lessons of those who disobeyed Moses and who deviated from his path. Support and praise for those who stood by him, and awareness of those who may be your detractors or who may be hypocritical. The detailed history of Moses, his protected infancy, his pure youth, his intellectual genius, his military training, his exile, and his eventual success is detailed in Surah Al-Qasas. This is also contrasted with the elegant, privileged, powerful, brutal Pharaoh, who maintained authority through the policy of divide and rule, as well as references made here to the eventual defeat and death of the Pharaoh. Reference is made to the potential dangers of the combined forces of political, financial, and military authority, as exemplified in the authority in charge at the time of Prophet Moses. Power, Pharaoh was the political sovereign. Wealth, Qarun or Korah was the head of the treasury. And Haman, military, he was the head of the army. Even in modern times, the political sovereign, the head of the army, and the treasury still dictates the direction of politics. The fact that this history is preserved through revelation is brought to our attention because the Quran serves as a historical document. Prophet Muhammad encountered similar challenges as did Prophet Moses. Both grew up in the house of rulers. He grew up, Moses, in the house of Pharaoh, and Prophet Muhammad, he was of the Quraysh. His uncle Abu Talib was one of the chiefs. His grandfather Abdul Muttalib was a chief. Both challenged the authority of the day. Moses challenged Pharaoh, and Prophet Muhammad, the Quraysh. Both conveyed a message which was opposed by their own people. Moses to his people, and Prophet Muhammad to the Meccans. Both had miracles demanded of them. Both had to migrate from where they were to another place. And eventually, both were victorious over the ruling powers of their day. We are reminded that excessive attachment to material world and over-engrossment in materialism is often the cause of people's non-commitment to the truth. Greater means could provide more opportunity for giving vent to desire. And note that of all the material world and even the life spent in pursuing it, all of these are only temporary. Life is a test, and all that we have are temporary gifts, and those too are tests. Believers are advised, seek the hereafter through your deeds in this world. In other words, we attain the hereafter through what we accrue in this world. The good we do, we shall see in the hereafter. The wrong we do, we shall be accountable therefore. So seek the hereafter through your deeds in this world. But do not neglect your life in this world. وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا وَأَحْسِنْ كَمَا أَحْسَنَ اللَّهُ إِلَيْكَ وَلَا تَبْغِ الْفَسَادَ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Seek the hereafter through your deeds in this world. In the process of living in this life and in attaining the hereafter, neglect not your life in this world. Do not forget your portion of this world. Try to attain the best of the hereafter. Not through self-exaltation, through ulu, nor through fasad and corruption, but through righteous deeds and goodness. Follow the divine guidance which always leads to what is best and what is right. And more importantly, do not contaminate your faith by false belief or by unworthy deeds. Surah Al-Ankabut, the spider, is the 29th chapter in the chronological order of the Quran. It's a Meccan revelation that emphasizes not only the distinction between the faithful and the disbelievers, but also distinguishes the truly faithful from those who are mere claimants to faith. There are those who proclaim their faith and live it, and there are those who proclaim their faith and do not live it. And the Prophet advised, قُلْ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ ثُمَّ اسْتَقِيمْ. Say La ilaha illallah and then be upright, living by that testimony of faith. Be rest assured that life will serve as a test of faith and principles. Remember that goodness will beget goodness, that wrongfulness has negative consequences. We are reminded of the importance of kindness to parents, which is emphasized, and on the other hand, the attitude of the hypocrites is exposed. Reference to the history of Prophet Nuh, of Ibrahim, of Shu'aib or Jethro, of Hud, of Salih, Methuselah, Musa, Moses, all of these are related. And the humiliating loss of Pharaoh, of Haman and Qarun is mentioned. And the fact that each person earns the reward or punishment that he or she will receive. You are paid back for what you have incurred and what you have earned. We are reminded that frail ideologies are like the web of a spider. The web of a spider is seemingly beautiful, well structured, though it's actually a trap. It serves the function of a trap. And in reality, though beautiful and though a trap, is very weak indeed. We are reminded at the end of this juz that revelation is meant to be read. Revelation is meant to be understood. And importantly, revelation is meant to be implemented. We are exhorted to establish prayer, For prayer is a means of keeping one away from evil and corruption. May Allah grant us to be of those who follow the divine revelation, who implement its values, and who establish prayer in pursuance of spiritual and moral welfare and keeping away from evil and corruption. Shukran. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
رمضان يا رمضان رمضان يا رمضان رمضان يا